Sometimes we give ourselves no credit for all the challenges we've overcome. That's where our greatest strength comes from.
You can't witness the greatness within us without it also existing within you.
So we have to have more of us in those rooms where those decisions are being made in places of leadership.
You have to really be strong in who you are.
That's the one thing I can say, Bev, that is missing so much from our young people, being able to get that shared knowledge and appreciation for a lot of women, a lot of things that women before us have done.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited about this show. We were backstage, and all I could do was just laugh at Dr. Kiana, Dancie, and Dr. George Wallace. It's going to be a ball. You're going to learn a lot, but you also are going to laugh a lot. And that's what life is all about. But before we get there, I'd like to introduce you to Dr. Mari. Dr. Mari is the Associate Vice President of Health and Wellbeing at the University of South Carolina, formerly of North Carolina, but now of South Carolina. So Dr. Mari, would you like to introduce ABIS, who also is part of our programming?
Yes, ABIS, also known as the Advancement of Blacks in Sports, boldly advocates for racial equality, social and economic justice for Blacks in sports through connecting organizational leadership and programming.
Okay, so now we can get to the good stuff. The first person I would like to introduce, because ladies first, is Dr. Kiana Dancie. Kiana originally is from New York, born in New York.
Cleveland,
correct?
Ohio.
Cleveland, get out of here.
Yes, born in Cleveland, Ohio, been in Atlanta since I was 9 years old.
Okay, so she's from Atlanta.
That part.
Cleveland, and she's an actress, she's an author, she's a talk show host, she is a humanitarian and a serial. Can I tell y'all she's a serial entrepreneur?
Oh,
I can't tell you how many times Kiana has started a business, moved that business to another business, and every business has been a level up. That's the true entrepreneurial spirit. But she also has a very humanitarian, philanthropic heart. So everything that she does is to elevate and to grow. So welcome, Dr. Kiana Dancie, to the show.
Wait a minute. First of all, thank you. Look, Coach Bev, we're being very formal right now, and I appreciate the introduction, but you forgot to tell the people I'm a comedian, so when I start acting up, I don't want you to be embarrassed. But you didn't tell these people how we met. It's been a long
Hold that thought 1 second. Hold that thought. Let's get Dr. George Wallace to the phone, to the show. He is originally from Atlanta. He's an old school, tell it like it is comedian who has a purpose and a message behind everything he does. He's an author, he's a writer. He's an author, he's an actor. I don't mean he just writes books, but he also scripts and everything else. It's like he's a phenomenal force of nature. And to do what both of you do, I need to say this before we get started. Being an athlete is hard. Like, it's the most difficult thing in the world because of all the work, all the eyes on you constantly. The only profession I know that I view as harder is being a comedian. Because in order to own that room, people come in with expectations of athletes. People forget that when people pay money to sit in a show, they expect to be entertained. Now, if you can sing, you can sing.
Yeah.
But you got to be special to be funny for over an hour.
Come on.
You got to be real special to do that. And
I'm real special.
You special? Okay,
Yes.
so everybody on the show is special.
Yes.
So I'm going to open it up with this. I'm not even going to ask the dumb question that everybody else asked. What made you become a comedian? Because that's what everybody else asked. What we're going to talk about is the taglines.
Mm-hmm.
Kiana, yours is baggage claim.
Mm-hmm.
You know, about relieving yourself of the excess baggage you carry, not just externally, but primarily internally. Mm-hmm. And Mr. Wallace, I don't even know what to say, because you have my favorite tagline of all time. I love you and ain't nothing you can do about it.
And you need to get it right. I love you and there's absolutely nothing you can do.
Didn't I tell you don't come down here and embarrass me in front of these people?
Damn, that's what I'm talking about.
Listen, y'all got me on
So
here.
Nobody
told me Dr. Morris is going to be on. I'm looking bad. I could have, if I'd known she was going to be on, I'd have worn a suit. But nobody told me that.
Why you got to put on the suit? Because she here. I told you I was going to be here. You could have put on a shirt.
Well, I didn't know, but you ain't Dr. Morris. That's a big difference, you know.
Hey, Dr. Murray, how you doing?
I'm good.
You know he only got 3 jackets. It's a purple, a tan, and that.
No, they're all three purple. They're the same color.
You had on a different coat last night. I was surprised. I said, "Oh, got on a new jacket. He must have got a check."
Now let me tell you something. First of all, if anybody ever introduces you from Cleveland and then you say you're from New York, you should take that compliment. You're from New York, okay? You're not from Cleveland. Don't tell people you're from Cleveland. I was in Cleveland yesterday. It was in the 70s, not the temperature of the decade. Don't ever tell people.
First of all, I just want the people to know that my roots are in Cleveland. I'm all right being from Cleveland, but I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia, sir.
So was I. I'm born and raised, and I never heard of you.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of you. Your paper still.
You don't know Dr. Maury, we are crazy people. She's like my little sister. She just won't shut up. But you know,
I'm not your sister. Who birthed me? Who had a kids that's 95 years apart? No. I'll be your niece.
How many years?
95 years.
Oh my God.
How dare you? You ain't got to make me that
Stop
old.
playing her.
Oh, she got jokes out here. She's doing very well now.
I can't. You know what, Bev, run your program, because this one is not going to act right.
Okay, let's go. Talk to me about why those taglines are important to y'all.
Go ahead,
ladies first, as she said. Go ahead.
Age before beauty. Listen.
You know, let me tell you something.
Dr. Murray, your job is the referee.
Well, listen. I love life. I love living. I love people, and I love happy people. When I see happy people, it makes me happier. So my tag, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I just flat out love people, because people is the greatest assets in my life. No matter what I do, and I got the greatest job in the world. Kiana will tell you, I love what I do when I work. Because all I do is lie. I just love to lie. So I have the greatest job. And people say if you lie once, you got to lie again. Ain't no problem. No problem.
Ain't no problem.
I'll follow up with another lie, no problem. So I love life. I love what I do. I'm the most blessed person on the earth, and I wanted to be a comedian since 6 years old. And loving people is so great. It's so awesome.
You know what? I really appreciate that, because that's actually the quote that you wrote on the back of my book when he wrote why someone should read my book. And that was what he said to me. And again, I love you, and it's nothing that you can do about it. You remember writing that?
No, I don't.
I know you don't. But anyway, listen, I want to say this. Baggage claim it came from a lot of different things. So first of all, I got the bags under my eyes removed, Dr. Mari, Coach Bev, and Dr. Wallace. I got the bags under my eyes removed. And because I was about to be on TV, and I was literally just having a vain moment, just trying to turn the clock back. And as I was laying in my bed, talking to God, having a very petty conversation, I was like, Lord, listen to me. I need to heal younger and prettier. Because first of all, my surgeon was real fine. He was real fine. So I was sure that somebody cheated. You know, like they skipped him a couple classes. That man didn't really know what he was doing. He was so fine. So I was like, Lord, I know they passed him and he didn't really know what he was doing. Just make sure my eyes are the same size. So as I was laying there and I said, listen, I want to heal younger and prettier. And the Lord said to me, he said, you will be younger, you will be prettier, but you're ugly on the inside. You got work to do. Wait a minute. Who are you talking to? Now, I only heard the Lord speak to me twice, audibly, twice, just 2 times. A lot of people say God talked to them all the time, but I ain't going to say they didn't lie. I'm just telling it ain't the truth. So I was hurt. And then I actually said, who you talking to? He said, you. He said, get it together. So as I started healing externally, I started working on my internal baggage.
Now that's some powerful messaging right there, which is, I love life. I love myself. I love people. I love what I do. And I don't think you can be great at anything you do in life if you don't love.
Exactly.
All those places. And you cannot truly love yourself or anyone else, and particularly yourself, if you got a whole lot of negative baggage with you.
Exactly.
That's the hardest and heaviest baggage you can carry through life. So with that being said, go ahead.
I'm just going to say, when you have the baggage in your life, it's kind of like traveling on an airline. Now, if you got too much baggage and you go to Delta, they're going to charge you. That's what society
is. It's an upcharge.
Yeah.
It's an upcharge. And I always say that, I love that example, because I always say, get rid of your emotional baggage so that you can have some luggage. Let me tell you something. Nobody wants to be walking around here dragging all that baggage around. You show up in every relationship, every party, or you always want to talk what happened, the woe was me. You want some luggage so you can go on a vacation, a staycation. You want to go abroad, but you can't do that dragging your luggage. You need some your baggage. You need some luggage. So you won't get they let you 2 bags on down to the Delta, but anything more than that, you're going to have to pay for it.
Or if you start traveling like I do now, I'm down to a backpack. I've gotten this backpack. It's amazing. I can get 4 pair of pants in the backpack.
And 1 pair of underwear.
I get 7 shirts like this I'm wearing, and 2 dress shirts, and the sport coat I'm wearing. And now when I travel light. I take, especially when I go to Europe, I take disposable underwear. So when you come back, you ain't got no dirty drawers. So learning to live like that is to be free and able to move and adapt to the environment that you're in. So you don't need that extra baggage. I'm glad you talked about that, Kiana.
So you tell me, what does a pair of underwear look like? Never mind. Next question. Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say I can't get up. I mean, I ain't got no pants on.
I know you don't. That's why I said never mind. Go ahead, Coach. I knew it, Coach man. I knew this where it was about to go, because he would show you. You hear me? This ain't that type of show. It's not. It is not.
I'm trying to be nice.
Dr. Mari, you want to add something in on that baggage and love?
They have it. They have it. I'm a psychologist. From a psychology standpoint, I am not funny at all. I would just say that. When we're heavy, we're heavy. When you're weighed down, you're weighed down, and you cannot soar. You can't be well. You can't be happy when you're carrying that baggage. So I'm glad that the Lord talked to you, Kiana, Dr. Kiana, and told you to get healed on the inside as well as the outside.
Yes, I say this, and I'm happy to hear that you are a psychologist, because here's the thing. I'm not, but I tell the people I prescribe to PCP. Prayer, couch, and prescription. Now, when I said PCP, you thought I was talking about that drug, didn't you?
A little bit worried. Like,
you see how she said that? Like, hold on. No, prayer, couch, and prescription. I'm an advocate, and I think wholeheartedly that, listen, at the end of the day, we're going to pray, we're going to pray, we're going to pray. The word say, faith without works is dead. I changed a little bit. Yes, I know I ain't one of them, but I changed a little bit to fit my situation. That is prayer. Prayer without works is dead, which means after you pray, you got to put in the work. You got to get on a couch. You got to find a therapist or a counselor, someone that can help you non-biasedly unpack the bags that you carry. Not just your tribe, not just your mom or Bubba and them, or somebody named Dr. George Wallace. You want to get with a professional that can help you unpack your baggage so that you can see what you're dealing with from a different perspective. And that last P is prescription. I'm an advocate. Now, here's the thing. I'm not saying that everybody needs to be on a prescription, but I am saying that if you need it, don't run from it. But if you go to a doctor and the only thing they're doing is prescribing you, that is not the doctor for you. The doctor needs to be offering you, wraparound services and other support groups and other support things that can help you get to the next level. If it's just a prescription, run.
Absolutely.
Oh, she real pretty and smart and funny.
And crazy too, I might add.
All the things. But you're right,
Exactly.
Go
Go ahead, Dr. Mari.
A prescription is only there to keep your head above water.
Yes.
That's all it's for. It doesn't solve any problem whatsoever. It just gives you the capacity to solve the problems, to get to them, to have the energy and the resources to manage through. So a prescription without anything else is not the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
What prescription you on?
When I was in the hospital, the one thing that I did that amazed people, because I was paralyzed and I was in there for 6 months, is that the whole time I was in the hospital, I cracked jokes or I listened to stuff that was funny. And because the energy that it produced in me, when they told me I'd never walk again, I walked. I knew. So no matter how dramatic the news was, if you can keep smiling, it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Wallace.
Don't ever forget that when you stop laughing, when you stop smiling, you stop living. And that's why I teach everybody every day. I love to say, if you see someone without a smile, give them yours. I think laughter is so important. As you know, it's in the Bible, Dr. Mari, that laughter is healing for the soul. Yeah. And it's so good. No matter what happens today, no matter what the situation is, at the end, we got to put laughter in our life. The greatest thing in the world is the first thing is they see a baby smile. Bam! And babies love to have fun and love laughter. And it's just good for life. Even when you go to a funeral now, a funeral not a funeral anymore if you don't laugh. You got to laugh and celebrate. Am I right? If you go to a sad funeral, you go like, that was bad. Now, today, we have changed the layout, the template. We got to laugh. Keep laughing no matter what you do. That's even when you give a business speech, even when somebody walks into the doctor's office, they need to see a smile on your face to make sure they feel comfortable. Yeah. It sells.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I seen something the other day. I don't know who it was. It was it's some drama right now going on about different restaurants. And then one of the restaurant owner said, you don't go to a restaurant for customer service and smiles. You go to a restaurant for food. And I said, I do not. I go to a restaurant for both.
Yes. Well, everything I do, I would appreciate a smile for service, no matter what, medicine, no matter what. Keep a smile. When I go to church, I still like to see the minister smile.
The people let you in the church?
Hell yeah. I'm big, and listen, I'm in Church of God in Christ. I'm in the holiest church, and I just started cussing last year because I found out everybody in the church is cussing but me. At Church of God in Christ, it's amazing. But now I don't cuss. I say waka flocka,
Every time you want to say a bad word, you just say waka flocka.
Yeah. Dr. Moore, when you get mad at somebody, just say waka flocka. It ain't cussing, but it's close enough. Dr. Moore, just go ahead and say waka flocka. Look at that. I was at church and the bishop walked up in the pulpit. I said, look at that.
Who walked up?
See?
Your teeth loose. You sound like you said something wrong.
I said Waka Flocka Flame. There's a guy named Waka Flocka Flame. That's where we got the joke from. Yeah. But it's good to keep laughter no matter what you do. I particularly like smiles when people are doing, what do you call it, motivational speaking?
Yes.
And any type graduation speeches, I hate to be bored. You got to keep people smiling and engaged in laughter and a smile. That's why I wrote the book called Laugh It Off. No matter what the situation is, laugh it off.
That's a plug. I like it.
So can I geek out on y'all for a minute?
Sure.
So laughter is medicine, right? And we know this. Your brain does not like to learn. Your brain is really lazy. Don't want to learn. And so when a baby's learning things, we give them song and dance and all kind of fun stuff to keep them engaged. And then they learn a lot of information. As adults, if we don't have that same amount of humor, then our brain is closed. It's hard to learn. So laughter releases dopamine. Dopamine's like dope. When you're on dope, you do kind of all kind of things. So laughter actually opens the brain, relaxes the brain so that you can learn all kinds of fun things.
That's actually in my book. Great statement, Dr. Mari. I don't know what page, but it's in there.
I don't know the page, but it's in there.
What is in there?
Dr. Wallace, can I ask you a question? Like you have I don't know if everybody recognizes this, but your family has a lot of athletes in it. How does
Yeah.
that, knowing your sense of humor, your family got to be funny. And
Well,
sometimes
we do
we
have a lot of
take
fun.
ourselves.
Hey, Coach Bev, I don't talk about my family enough. I have more, like my oldest brother, his name is George Wallace also. Um, my oldest brother,
George
George Wallace,
Wallace, what?
they call him Tater Pie.
Okay, Tater Pie.
I
That's
have
the
the
one
same
I
name.
heard.
See, my dad is George Wallace, and my brother's George Wallace Jr. So when I went to Los Angeles, my real name is Henry Wallace. They said there's already a Henry Wallace. So I said, well, don't make my daddy name George Wallace. So I'll make that a comedian name, like George Wallace. But my brother, George Wallace Jr., Tater Pie, his name is Tater Pie because nobody has a real name from Georgia in Atlanta, okay?
No, you don't.
And
Not from the South.
he's one of the first Black professional golfers. And when I was a kid, we didn't know what he was doing or his or how. At the time, you don't recognize what's happening in your life, making history. And when I was a kid, Charlie Sifford, Lee Elder, all of them, they stayed at my house in Atlanta, Georgia when they came to play because they didn't have Black hotels and motels, you know. And being a Black golfer back in the day is just amazing. So I don't talk about him. I know one of the first guys. And of course, you know, there's 7 Super Bowl rings in my family. And did you know that, Coach Bev?
No, I
7
did not. That's huge.
Well, my brother
So
is
excellence runs in the family.
well, and I was a good football player too, but I just knew at the time when I got clotheslined once running the ball, and I said, okay, that's enough for me. And the coach said, why don't you play ball, Wallace? I said, well, Mr. O'Neal, I'm a BSer. I know I'm going to be a BSer. That's why I want to be a comedian since 6 years old. So that's why I didn't play. But we have the sports. My nephews are Money Tuma. I played for the New York Giants, number 81, and then also number 81, Bobby Hamilton played for the New England Patriots. So it's just amazing. We do have a lot of athletes. And also on the NFL right now, Barry Anderson is one of the coaches on the NFL field. You see him. So the night they had the Black 7 officials in football, he was one of the Black 7 officials on the field that night. And
so if you have all these rings in your family, why you haven't introduced me to one,
Don't push me. You came to my family reunion. There was 2 Super Bowl rings in the.
Let me tell you something. I did his family reunion. He asked me, first of all, he set me up. He said, come do some jokes at my family reunion. I didn't know what I was walking into, first of all. Everywhere I turned, they were all looking like each other. Your whole family photocopies of each other.
Well, they do look like each other. Both my grandmothers had 21 kids, and that's 42 kids, okay? And my grandma was at the family reunion. She's pregnant right now. But
you know what? I wouldn't doubt it. It was a good time, but we laughed. And then he tried to pay me in chicken and Monopoly money. I said, listen, let me tell you something. I want my money, You're going to write me a check. When the last time anybody paid you in a real check? Cash App, Zelle. That's how I know you're not a zaddy. Because you don't even know how to give the young girls no money. You know, you writing the check.
Well, I think the young girls, they think I'm not hip. So that's why I do it. And I was hoping you wouldn't go to the bank and cash it. That's what I was hoping.
I did.
You hope he lost it.
But I do have Cash App. I do have Zelle. I got a Vimo, whatever it is.
A Mimo.
I bet you cashed it, didn't you?
I sure did.
Okay, then stop complaining then. But listen to me. Coach, we talk a lot, so and Dr. Mari,
all the time.
You're the professional. I need to talk to you say you're a psychologist or psychiatrist?
Yes, psychologist.
Okay. So you don't know whether I'm crazy or not. That's a psychologist. Psychologist.
I don't diagnose on the first date. I just don't.
Okay. Because most psychologists I know are crazy. I'm glad psychiatrists are crazy.
Psychiatrists are crazy, not psychologists.
Not psychologists, right. Mm-hmm. I know mine is.
I keep losing focus. I try not to laugh.
I'm just trying to keep up.
Coach Bev, I told her not to put me on this show because I talk too much, okay?
Let the lady ask you a question.
You say it's ASKED, not X.
Well, listen, my struggle, you know what? I'm not going to get into this with you. You know what? Because I got a gap in my teeth. Sometimes the word struggle, but at least my teeth are mine.
Mine too. I bet you I paid more for mine than you did yours.
Okay, let's get to the next question because I have another question.
Wait
for
a
you
second.
guys.
I got you one more thing. We're comedians, okay?
Okay.
She bragging about her
Go
teeth
ahead,
of
hit
hers.
it with her.
She bragging about her teeth of hers. My hair's mine. Okay, I got you.
Now we ain't doing that.
That's your cross the line.
You look, Coach Bev, Dr. Murray, you win. You win. Anybody gonna take a wig off to prove nothing to you? Because guess what? I always tell the fellas, if I ever take off my wig and you meet my cornrows, we go together. This is it. We would never break up. And I don't care if you leave me, we still go together. I can come back, go when I want. We still together. You would never meet my cornrows and think that who you leaving? Not me. You know what? I'm supposed to be real pulled together and smart. It's a lot of important people watching this right now, and you have me on this thing acting up.
Wait a minute. Okay, let me straighten up too and fly right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Now we're going to continue the show, and we're going to be very professional, and we're just going to answer the question.
Please don't go there.
Coach Bev, we're going to be very nice.
I don't even think y'all can do it.
I can.
And you crossing the line now, Dr. Bev. You watch what you say now. You crossing the line. You don't think we can't act right? We can act right. Who the hell she thinks she is? Talking about we can't act right. I know I can act. Kiana, will you tell her we can act right when we need to act right?
Okay, well, let's start now.
You don't tell me what to do now.
You're not the boss of me.
Hey, Coach Bev, you better talk. We got a little space in there. You better go ahead and talk.
You better go while I can.
Coach Bev, ask that man a question.
Dr. Murray, how are you? Let's talk to Dr. Murray. Let's see what she got on her chin. What she got? Let's talk to the doctor, Kiana.
What would you like to know?
Did they tell us where you're from?
I'm from Las Vegas.
Oh God, Lord. Can you block her? Block her. She's from Las Vegas. You know she's crazy. She's from Las Vegas. I live in Las Vegas. Have you ever come to see me, Dr. Murray?
I have.
Oh, block me.
That is the most arrogant question to ever ask.
He said, block me then.
That's the most arrogant question to ask anybody. Have you come to see me before? What if she would have told you?
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yes, ma'am.
When you guys go out in public and people realize that you're comedians from the beginning, do they always expect y'all to be funny?
Yes.
Well, I don't mind being funny. I love making people happy. I don't mind. I just love it.
You know, I get to the point where I'm just like, I'm not always on because I wear so many hats. You know, for me, you know, there's layers to me. There's days where I'm very, very funny. There's days where I'm very, very pulled up and polished. And I mean, but there's humor throughout. But I hate when people say, tell me a joke. I do not like that because I'm not always working. And it's not, you know, I'm humorous throughout my conversations many times, but don't tell me to tell you a joke.
Well, I'm not always on. I just always me.
Yeah.
If somebody were to say, tell me a joke, I tell them, give me $1. That'll shut them up real quick.
That shuts it down, huh?
Yeah. Give me, you know, I'm not working right now. Give me some money. I'll tell you a joke.
And then I'm working.
Yeah. But life is good. We got the greatest job in the world. And like you said, it is the hardest profession in the world. Mm-hmm. Professional speaking is actually. And it's better to be in the coffin than to speak, some people say. Is that right, Dr. Murray?
That's true. One of the biggest fears is public speaking.
Yeah, even more than death.
Mm.
Yep.
But I love it. And if you got to, you know, like you say, we're out there, we make people happy and we give them medicine and people come up to you after you do a show. I said, you know what, my father just died, my mom died, I had brain surgery, and I want to thank you for the laughter. And that's what we do. That's why we do it. You have no idea what we do. And the drugs what I do is my sex and my drugs. I love what I do. There's nothing better than going up there and saying hello to people. You don't even know these people. They just paid money to see you. From all over the world. What could be better? And that's why I teach the young kids, make sure you enjoy your life.
Yes.
Just because you got a degree in marketing doesn't mean you got to do statistical analysis the rest of your life. You might enjoy arranging flowers or painting cars or fixing refrigerators. Right. If you love what you do, the money will come.
Right. Find your passion. Absolutely. Yeah. Find your passion. Mm-hmm.
And that's the message is that I want you guys to really tap into right now, which is you have to be passionate about what you do, and it doesn't become a job. It becomes me just being me.
Mm-hmm.
That's critical. And there are so many comedians who are funny on stage and miserable off stage.
A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because, first of all, a lot of and that's the thing. We use humor to entertain ourselves, humor to entertain you. There's so many of our coworkers and counterparts that have committed suicide because they were suffering silently and they just didn't have an outlet. And there's a lot of pressure in this industry to be at a certain level. There's a lot of pressure, period, in the world right now, especially with social media. People are comparing themselves to what they see, and they assume that they're supposed to be at a certain level by a certain age. But specifically for us as comedians, there is a lot of pressure, and it's one of the highest, from what I understand. There's more, I forget how you phrase the statistic, but there's a lot of comedians that commit suicide because of, deep depression and, feeling like they're isolated. But if you think about it, we're on the road a lot. We're away from our family. We miss a lot of holidays. While we're entertaining you and making you laugh, there's no one entertaining and checking on us.
Not only holidays, most people enjoy their weekends.
Yeah.
One thing for sure, we know if we're not working on weekends, we're not enjoying our life. We're not in it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, what are you doing if you're not booked on the weekend? Absolutely.
So you guys, as comedians, you guys have to stay pretty much up on everything, because there's messages, especially for you two, in everything that you do. Mm-hmm. Like you, Dr. Wallace, you gave the funniest analysis of former President Trump that I've ever heard. Like you tell truth with laughter.
I don't know what I did about Trump. I just know right now, Dr. Maury, right now, I'm talking about the 5 white people I hate. There's only 5 white people that I truly hate. And number 1 is Donald Trump, okay? I love everybody. But the 5 white people I hate, Donald Trump is number 1. From Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Number 2, the guy from Ohio is, what's his name, Jim Jordan. And number 4 is Judge Clarence Thomas. And number 5 is Herschel Walker. That's the 5 white people. What you laughing at?
I'm just smiling.
Hey, Kiana, I was thinking the other day, the 5 white people I hate most, all of us live in Georgia except Jim Jordan. Somebody told me last night, Trump don't live in Georgia. I said, he will soon.
He will soon.
He will soon. We changed the name of the Atlanta Fulton County Jail to Trump Towers.
Trump Towers, and guess what? He gonna have 5 outfits, pinstripe.
But one good thing about when Trump goes to jail, Kiana, a lot of people don't know this. He's gonna be across the street from the best restaurant in Atlanta, Magic City. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you think he'll buy the jail? You think he'll buy the jail some food?
Well, the chicken wings across the street, I guess they'll get him over to him. So you ladies know that this gentleman's club, what do you call it? Besides gentleman's club, what do you call it?
Strip club.
Strip club. It's the best. It's the best restaurant in Atlanta. Did you know about that?
They have amazing food.
No.
Well, you heard about last year. Was it?
And that's why everybody go, right, for the food.
Yeah. During COVID. No, see, that's the joke. During COVID, there was a basketball player suspended because he went there to get his food, and they said, "Sure, you did." Now they got to open up a drive-thru because the preachers and everybody going there to get their food. So it's not a lie about the food is that good. So now everybody's going like, "Oh, he was Lou Williams, I think is that. Oh, he was telling the truth, and he was telling the truth, but he got suspended because everybody said you don't go to a strip club to get food. Yes, you do.
Baby, they got a
Dr. Maury lives in Las Vegas. She knows some of the biggest restaurants are in.
You don't know if that lady know nothing about no big strip clubs.
Well, they're so big in Las Vegas, you have to see them as you drive by.
Oh, well, listen, let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you, they got an amazing ribeye. That's all I know. I get mine through the drive-through.
Oh, how you know? You've been over there, huh?
I get my. I'm from Atlanta, but I have changed my life. I am saved, but I have been a savage.
You saved and sanctified and filled with the Holy Spirit. That's another thing you said the other day. See how people will lie? You said you talked to God. People got to stop lying on
No,
God.
I said he spoke to me twice, and that's it. I know somebody that said God talked to her every day. Now I don't know what every day. Okay, well, girl, I don't know if you were dead or in heaven, but however, I don't know how the Lord speaks to you every day.
Well, we have a psychologist on the line now, and she can tell us why do these preachers just flat out lie. You know, I talk about that in my act every Sunday. They walk up in the pulpit, just flat out lie, and they tell everybody in the church, "I won't be long." That's the first lie they tell every day. But the preachers lie. There's a preacher said to them, he wanted his name. I think his name is Kept Your Dollar. It's not Kept Your Dollar.
Creflo Dollar, not Kept Your Dollar.
You go there, you see. But you get into your pocketbook. You won't have it. You won't have it. There's another preacher named, he's from Texas, named Jesse Duplantis. Said the Lord told him he needed a new jet. Now, and he already has 2 jets, and the Lord told him, you know, that's some BS. The Lord should give me 1 before he give him 3. So stop lying on the Lord. The Lord told me. The Lord ain't told you nothing.
Bev, ask the question, because this one right here.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Dr. Maury. Dr. Maury says these are some crazy people. She'll probably make an appointment for us to come to her office.
What you mean us?
We.
So
me and you.
Right. I've worked on my baggage, and that, you know, I spent the pandemic really working on myself, focusing on becoming my best self, because this is what I do know. Your emotional baggage shows up in the rooms before you do. Your emotional baggage, people will talk about, like, she's pretty, but I don't like her. You know, they'll talk about how you made them feel. They won't necessarily remember what you said to them, but they will remember how you made them feel. So it's very important that you work on yourself so that you won't show up being rude, disrespectful, unaccountable, and I don't like it. Work on all those things so that when people are around you, your light shine from within. But also people want to be with you or want to be around you.
Right.
Yes.
And it makes a difference when you're being coached or you're being a leader.
Yeah.
Don't take yourself so serious.
Yes.
Athletes, business people, sometimes, as we said, in private, comedians, but we take every mistake we make way too serious, and those mistakes are learning processes in our growth.
Mm-hmm.
One time, Bishop Charles E. Blake said, sometimes worrying about the situation is worse than the situation itself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So like you said, all of these are small things. Sometimes you think, like, little time, go away. You give yourself a little time and things get better.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Exactly. So what advice would you guys give people in terms of pursuing their passion? In terms of pursuing your passion, what's a critical thing that you would tell people? Because y'all are in one of the hardest professions, and you're both extremely successful in what you do. How does that look to you?
So first,
especially when you guys have you guys ever walked into a room and bombed?
Of course, but I had the greatest bomb ever. Let me tell you about my bomb. This is the best bomb ever. Let me tell you something. I was so excited when the people from Apollo called me. Now, mind you, I didn't know that I was going on the Apollo side where they had to they judge you. I thought I was going on the book, Apollo, because there's 2 sides. There's the Apollo where you're booked as talent or you're booked as a showcase. Nobody told me. So I get up there. I'm so excited. I'm funny. I'm cute. I'm pretty. I walk out. I'm smart. I mean, all the things. Walk out before I can even open my mouth good. Now, they'll give you a little bit. They'll give you a moment. But as soon as I was starting to get into my bit, they was like, boo. It was the boo from, they said it with their chest boo. You know what I'm saying? Like, for all the way from the back, boo. And it stuck in my head. That boo hit me so hard, my wig snapped back. I said, wait a minute. I was so embarrassed. I walked off. I called my mama. I said, Mama, they booed me. Oh my God, I can't believe I got booed. I'm a professional. She said, well, baby, if you're going to get booed, at least you got booed by a professional. I said, yeah.
How about that?
You don't want to get booed by no amateur. I said, well, apparently, I didn't. And it was like they go to work. They go to boo workout school. Like they
got it then. You got booed by professional booers.
I never got booed, but I bombed. I bombed so Miss Kiana, Dancie, God bless you. I bombed so badly. So when I first started, about 6 months into the business, some guy thought I was good enough to go up into the Catskills and perform at one of the big Jewish hotels. It's the Beverly. And this is a room, 600 Jews. And Jews and blacks are the best audience you could ever get. But if you don't come with it, they're the worst audience you could ever get. So I'm up there and I'm rolling. I'm trying to tell these jokes for 45 minutes. Not one laughed. For 45, but I stayed up there for 40. It hurt so badly so that on my way home, I thought about I could drive off the Tappahannock Bridge. It was worse than my mama's funeral. That's how bad it was. But being in the business 6 months, you don't know. You think you got yourself together. And I was telling stock jokes. Jokes have already been told. The Jews they know every joke ever been told. And let me tell you, it was that bad. And I kept working, and I went back about 3 years later, and I went to the same stage, and I did a good job, and I came off as a little lady, about 85 years old. She tapped me on the back. She says, "Much better this time, eh?"
They remembered you.
Yeah, much better this time, eh?
Did you hear him say the Jews know every joke that's been told?
Well, when you get into comedy, there's two races that know comedy, and that's the blacks and the
blacks and the Jews. You ain't lying.
Nobody does it better, and they got it.
Black people, I will say, Dr. Mark, we make a joke out of everything.
Yes.
The riverboat fight, I don't think I've ever seen. That was funnier than the actual event.
Sure. We got to make anything funny. That's why you do something wrong at a funeral and see what happens. Do something wrong. Yeah. That's our job, is to laugh about everything.
Everything.
It's Byron Allen,
in the middle of a
one of the richest black men we know in comedy right now. He says, to every answer, there should be a funny answer. To every question, there should be a funny answer. That's Byron Allen. And you know what he's doing right now? He just made a bid for ABC yesterday. Byron Allen used to be a comedian.
There's hope.
Yep. There's hope. And the amazing thing about that, amazing thing about him is that he hasn't lost his sense of humor, and the money hasn't altered his journey. He's still elevating. And I want to ask you guys a question. So after you bomb, it's just like losing a race or losing a game. You're in it for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
I don't know what it is after losing a race, but bombing, you don't know where to get out the room. You don't know what to do. You don't want to look at people. You just got to go. It hurts. It hurts.
And they want to talk to you.
I've been doing it so long now. If I got a big check, if I got a real big check, I'm gone. That show's over. Never will happen again. Move on to tomorrow. Let's get right back up on the horse.
Yep. Because for us, you're only as good as your last show.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the same thing as an athlete. You're only as good as your last race. No matter, you could win a Super Bowl, and then a coach could get fired the next year for losing. You guys could kill it and then bomb, and all of a sudden people are talking about it. Every mistake, because y'all are in the public eye. How do you handle the pressure of being in the public eye and being under a critical ear for you guys and visual? Everything y'all do is critiqued, and you get feedback right away. You know if you're killing it, and you know if you don't.
That's true.
That's so true. I've had some shows like at the Improv in Los Angeles. The comedians just come out and say, "Bad audience, bad. The audience just terrible." And I go on, like 4 or 5 come on and say, "Terrible audience." I'll go up on the same stage, and say, "Well, the comedians on earlier said this audience sucks. Well, I got some new jokes here that I know gonna suck, so this should work out pretty good. This should work." So now they're moving. I kind of got them smiling a little bit. I know you suck.
You disarmed them.
Jokes suck, so let's get in this together. Mm-hmm. The next thing you know, everybody's laughing and having fun. I address the situation. I'm kind of like Dr. Maury, what's the problem?
Dr. Maury?
I don't even know what the question was, so I can't answer it.
You done lost focus.
The question was, after you bomb, how do you handle it?
I leave. I ain't sitting around there drinking no bomb soup. I'm not doing that. I'm not finna. No, I usually leave, but for me, it hasn't been a lot of times that I bomb, thankfully. But my goal has always been, if I put a smile on anybody's face, that's a win for me. And you know what? Even many times when you feel like you did it so bad, someone will come tell you, "Oh my God, you were so funny," because it's like, really? And then like I had a pop my collar moment. Yes, Monday was a bucket list for me. I actually opened and hosted the show for not only Kevin Hart, but also Dave Chappelle. And that was a bucket list for me to work with Kevin Hart. I've always been in the room with him, but not on the stage with him. He booked me for his LOL festival, but we met in passing. So I never really worked with him. And so when I got the call, I was super excited. And I thought, my set was okay. They told me to do 20 minutes, then they told me to do 10. And as a comic, when you have to make that adjustment, it's like now you having to make all these different, that's like saying you got to run I don't know, like you were going to run, what do you call it, coach, when you have the baton, like the long run or whatever, and then a relay. Now all of a sudden you're going to sprint. Like, wait a minute, you know what I mean? I wasn't prepared for that.
Like I was going to run the 4x4, but now I got to run the 4x1. That's a different race.
That's a different race. So, I thought I did so bad. And then, not bad, but I just didn't feel like I did my best. And there was so many people coming like, "Oh my God, you're so funny." And I was like, okay. So sometimes, your inner critic, as I say this all the time, your inner critic is friends with the enemy. So they're designed.
Say that again. I love that.
Your inner critic is friends with the enemy. And that means that your enemy, the devil, whoever, however you want to reference it, he is always on his square, and he's always going to tell you you're not good enough, you're not able, you're not worthy. And so if you have any kind of insecurities, that inner critic is going to join that enemy, and then they're going to join forces, and you're going to feel like, oh, I didn't do well. So while you're repeating everything that your inner critic is saying to you, the enemy is magnifying it, because look, this is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to tell you, you ain't good at that. Why you thought you was going? How did you believe that you was going to be able to do that? Who told you? So I did have a moment, and I usually don't have those moments, but I did feel like, oh my God, I didn't do so well. And so many people came to tell me, oh my God, you were so funny. And that, again, sometimes is enough to make you pull, hold your head up a little bit, even though you're feeling bad about the situation, or you feel like you didn't do your best. Somebody else in the room saw that you were funny. That works. That goes a long way.
Then again, every show that you do, the best show is not as good as you thought it was, and the worst show is really not as bad as you thought it was. The audience sometimes don't know what we know.
Right. My mother said it all the time. We don't know what your joke was supposed to be. We don't even know what was what and how. She's right.
Yeah.
She's absolutely right.
Dr. Mari, because that's some powerful stuff they just dropped on us just then.
Absolutely. Failure is good for the soul, right? It actually helps you understand what's important to you, what's meaningful to you, right? So if I fail at something, it's because I care about it.
Right.
And when I don't care, it's not a failure. It's like, just leave the room. So it's absolutely great for the soul, and it's an opportunity to learn more about yourself and how to refine and improve. So I hope people fail forward, meaning look at the failure, understand what it meant, what it can teach you, and then what you can improve on. Yeah. So I think failure is a great thing. I know I work with a lot of athletes, collegiate athletes, and when I teach them how to fail, they become great.
Yeah. I love that. I use this kind of the same, phrase. I don't say fell forward. I say fell up. But it's the same thing. Like every step of the way, you're kind of elevating to the next level, because if you don't take that one step to get to the next level, you'll never know, one, that you're able. And two, you'll never see. I think it's good for people to lose or to fail, because first of all, if you're always a winner, you ain't been through nothing. You don't even know what it feels like to lose. When they give kids participation trophies, I want to take them.
Right?
You ain't do nothing.
Trophy ball.
You ain't do nothing. Running and breathing. That's what you're supposed to do. Did you win? No.
Wait a minute. Kiana, the doctor might have something to say about this. What a psychologist would say.
Go ahead,
it makes the kids feel better if everybody got a trophy.
No.
It's a setup.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know how to deal with failure. And so most of the, I work on a college campus, and if you look at who comes into our counseling center in distress, it is students that do not know how to get a C.
And they be about to jump off the bridge.
They've been getting A's and B's because teachers been giving out grades.
Right.
And they get that C and life is over. They don't know how to handle it. So I do not agree with not being honest with people, right? So honesty says you didn't do anything to earn it, so you shouldn't have it.
That part. I don't know what
That
happened.
part.
Tight. My hair, something happened.
What are you working on, Kiana?
I said my wig got real tight all of a sudden.
Oh, how about that? Because your head is swelling up. That's what it is.
No.
Your head is swelling.
It just felt, I felt like, wait a minute, what is happening? My hair growing or wig shrinking? Anyway, listen.
So
I have a
just gonna say
question.
this.
I know I'm not the moderator, but I do have a question.
Go.
Because a lot of times athletes or people who perform at a high level tend to have this thing about them, right? That when they don't succeed or when they're not having a good day, they don't necessarily know how to be kind to themselves.
Ooh.
So I just wonder how y'all are kind to yourself when you do bomb or you don't get the big check or you didn't get the Emmy, Grammy, whatever.
The part. Mm-hmm.
Part. How are you kind to yourself in those moments?
You want to answer that question first, or do you want me to do it?
You do it.
So, I grew up in a household that my mother gave us 24 hours. 24 hours. Let me fix my lash because I don't want to be talking to the people with my lash is crooked. Now, listen, I grew up in a house and my mother gave you 24 hours. No matter what it is you're going through, you can, if you had a bad day, you went through a breakup, whatever happened, you have 24 hours, and she would literally set the clock. And as that clock is ticking down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ding, 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 she'll come in and say, hey, you still having a bad day? You need some more time? And, she will give you an opportunity to have your bad day. We acknowledge your problems. We acknowledge your feelings. We acknowledge your emotions. But she reminded me and my little brother that you have this life on earth is very, very short. If you spend all this time worrying about what you didn't do right, what didn't go right for you, what was not good, you are wasting valuable time that you can never get back. If you need more time, she's going to give you more time. She'll set the clock, but she's going to remind you. Now, I want you to know, you got 24 more hours. But what if you drop dead on the 25th? Now, she didn't say it like that when I was a child, but she would say, now, life is short. What if you don't wake up on that 25th hour? Now, you done wasted the last 24 being mad and sad about something you can't control. The best thing that you can do is get up and start again. The best thing that you can do is pull yourself up by your bootstrap. The best thing that you can do is come out swinging and go to fighting, because the enemy is waiting on you to give up. The enemy is waiting on you to say, I tap out, I'm done, I can't do this, I suck, I'm horrible. So for me, when I look in the mirror, it's always, you look good, you can do this, you can, you will. Everything that says negative, I take it out of my vocabulary because I wasn't raised to think anything else or any less about myself. And it's not, I'll tell you, there are days that it's not easy. It's not easy. But my mother said, and I love my mother. Thank God my mother, I was given to my mother, because I could have had some other mothers and that would have been a tragedy. You hear me? I'm so grateful that I have the mom that I have, because when I tell you, when I'm not having a good day, my mother say, put some lipstick on, put your eyebrows on, put your best bra. Because first of all, you feel good when your tatas up. When they sitting up good, when they sitting up real good.
George sitting there saying, I don't know nothing about that.
George got some titties. He know what I'm talking about. When you put your bra on, you hear me? Put some lipstick on, and you get up and you go. Because life is so short. If we haven't learned anything through the pandemic, we had better learn this, that you can go to sleep tonight and not wake up tomorrow. And
I don't want to talk about the pandemic. It's just because I lost 5 friends, and they didn't have COVID, nothing. They just owe me money, and so
listen.
I put on my lipstick.
Don't put on no listen, and don't purse your lips up like that. I told you, when you put on your chapstick, it ain't lipstick. Put on your chapstick.
It's the same damn thing. Just white lipstick.
Don't purse your lips up like that. Hold your lips in when you put your chapstick on. That ain't manly.
See, I got people telling me what to do. My lips, I want it all over my. How about that? My makeup artist tell me how to do it, and I rub it in.
She don't like you.
Well, let me tell you something. How do you reward yourself? I reward myself by
That ain't
loving what I do.
That lady said, how you be nice to yourself.
Well, that's the same thing, rewarding, how to be nice. I love what I do, and I love doing it with people. I love taking care of my family. I love giving back, too. My purpose on earth is to give back, and that's really rewarding, and to make sure people are happy around you and to give. And I travel. Good thing to do is travel and learn how other people live in other countries. I teach that to the young people because most important, you got to enjoy your life because most important, life is backwards. I tell the young people, make sure as soon as you get out of high school or college, get on an airplane, travel to another country and see how other people live. Charge it to your parents because life is backwards. Don't you hear old people say, when I turn 65, I'm going to retire and travel all over the world. For what? You're too damn old. I see people, I was in Paris yesterday, and the old people at the Eiffel Tower just looking up. So make sure you travel, and there's good people everywhere. Travel and learn about other people around the world. I guarantee you'll have a great life. And that's what you need is a great life. Learn how to live and let live also.
I love that. That's great information.
If you guys had, Dr. Wallace, you just gave, and Kiana, you just gave some great advice, especially for young people. If you have any advice for this generation, and Dr. Mari, I need you to speak on this too, as we're heading out the door. And then I have one last thing, and that's the update on what you guys have coming up. But before we get there, I just want to ask this question. What advice will you give this generation that struggles with stress and doesn't handle failure well? Because generation after generation, we began to protect people from failure. That's inevitably a part of life. So whether you hit it early on, as a child, you fall down and you learn to get up. As an athlete, I tell people all the time, I said, you have a right to celebrate, and then you got to move on. You have a right to mourn your loss, and then at some point you got to move on. And the quicker you can do from both, and the more you can learn from every experience, the higher elevation you'll receive in life and success. So that would be my advice. What would be you guys' parting advice for this generation?
I would say, first of all, write down your insecurities, your shortcomings, and your failure. Write them down, tear them up, and burn them up. Don't ever be held hostage or captive by anything that you did not do well in your past or your current or your present. Your future is, you can write your own story, but what you have to do is make the decision that you're not going to be held captive or hostage by the bags that you carry. And you're not the baggage that you carry. Your baggage is unresolved issues from your past. It is up to you to make a decision that you're not going to keep dragging it forward. We all been through some things. And if you have not been through some things and you have not accumulated some baggage, you're lying. But I also would tell you, live a little longer. Because many as young people, maybe we have not, and maybe they have not. You hear me? Many young people have not. But what I will tell you is know that no matter what you've been through, it does not define you. You can write your own story, but you have to be present and you have to let it go. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps and move. Push forward to be the best you and not be held captive by your baggage. That's deep, ain't it? You like that? Okay.
Thank you.
That's good.
Well, I'm kind of like, I'm old school, so I'm going to go back to Reverend Ike and say, you can have what you want to have, you can do what you want to do, and you can be what you want to be.
Come on, I love it.
Ike. And I think, but I don't believe in the phrase when people say, if I can do it, you can do it. That's some BS right there. Everybody can't do what I do. Do what you do best. Enjoy your life. Honor your essence. Get out there and show the people you love what you do. If I can do it, you can do it. BS. I cannot be an accountant. I cannot be a dog dentist. And everybody can't be a comedian. We got some comics that can't be comedians. So make sure you do what you love doing and enjoy your life. I'm so old school. I also think the young kids, now this is wrong for me to say. Some of you may. Parental guidance is, if you got a kid, I don't know whether the young people know how to even raise kids anymore. It's just simple manners. Does anybody use that word anymore? Doctor?
They don't.
So many kids today, and education, I'm seeing school teachers not respect their profession. I'm saying, I got a friend of mine that's a school teacher that goes to school. He looks worse than the kids. with a pair of sneakers on, old dirty sneakers and blue jeans. When I was a kid, I guess old people talk like this all the time. Old people get mad. Y'all remember, all of us went to school when the teacher was dressed up, and everybody said, I want to be a teacher, because you can inspire. Somebody's in charge, somebody's a leader. But now, if the teacher looks worse than the kids, who are you supposed to respect? And that's why they don't respect them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Dr. Mari.
Old school.
Powerful.
I come from a home with mother and a father, and I just love that parental guidance. And a lot of kids don't have that now. Even the kids, some of the homes have the mother and the father, but they new kids, and they let the kids talk back to them and curse them out. And y'all know we couldn't talk back to our parents. And Kiana heard me say it many times. My mama used to drive us down to the cemetery and show us our plot and say, you can use it now or you can use it later. But see, I'm a thing about respect. That's why Chick-fil-A makes so much money. They make everybody, you can cuss a Chick-fil-A employee out and tell them they stink, they're ugly, and all they'll say to you is, it's my pleasure. But if you teach people manners and use manners, you get a whole lot out of life. There's nothing wrong. Respect, love, kindness. Oof.
Them people they're not being taught manners over there at Chick-fil-A. Them people are robots. They are paid to say just what you said. They're not those people when they leave that job.
Well, you don't see too many people leave Chick-fil-A. Every day you go to McDonald's, there's a different person at the window. Chick-fil-A employees, they take care of them, they pay them. I drove through Chick-fil-A the other day, and they had a sign out wanted now hiring, and it was $26 an hour. I'm going like, that's pretty good. Don't you hear most, when they come out with the fast food restaurant chains for the last 10 years, who's been number one in service? Chick-fil-A.
That's
because
true.
they're teaching
It's
people.
service. It's about the service.
That is manners. We talked about service earlier, didn't we?
We did.
It's about manners. And when people treat you and greet you properly, it's amazing what can happen. You get a better tip too. I used to want to be a waiter, so I knew I could take care of people, serving the people.
I'm a horrible waitress. Did it one time, and I knew it wasn't my ministry.
Well, I love serving people. That's why I would like to run for president one day. Can you imagine what would happen if comedians were in charge of the country?
We would be in trouble. But I like the idea of you.
No, we wouldn't. Comedians know the social ills. We know everything that's wrong with the country, and we know how to settle it. It's kind of like comedians. Let me tell you something about comedians. We know right now that things are going to get done in Congress because we know we got a set at 8 o'clock, and we ain't going to miss that set no matter what. But comedians know what's going on in the world. Simple thing like this. Look what's in my head. I'd be thinking, all of the money, I'm not knocking anything, I'm saying I'm for it. All the money that we giving to the Ukraine, some of that same money can go to Hawaii and fix Maui. Why is Maui going through hell trying to get money? And we can do $100 billion, bam, just like that to kill people. So I'm just saying, give the people money, take care of the money. I'm a comedian. As long as we got paper, we got checks. As long as we got printers, we got checks.
That's true.
I'm
Dr. Mari. No, that's real talk.
The craziest show I ever been on. What she said, I guarantee she's gonna say these are the craziest people I ever seen in my life.
No, if I was talking to young people, I would say learn thyself. Learn what you like, who you are, what you want, what you need, and turn off the social media. If I could just get my young people just to turn it off and stop comparing themselves to things that are not real, that would be so helpful to them and to me.
Dr. Mari, do you think they know how to turn off?
They do.
Think they know how to turn off the social media? They've been living all their lives. They've been like this. I do a joke on stage. That's all they know. They don't know how to really live life. Now listen to this joke I do to the people that were born in 1960s, 70s. I wrote this joke in the 80s, like having a curfew. They don't know anything about having a curfew. They can stay out all night long. Now, as I say on stage, we had a curfew. But I had to be thinking, if I couldn't make it home before midnight, Coach Bev, Dr. Mari, if I couldn't make it home before midnight, you know what I would do? I would call my mom on the telephone, and she would pick it up. She says, hello. And I would say, it's okay, Ma, I got it. Put the phone down. But see, these kids today,
it's not even the kids though. It's the parents that allow the kid. I mean, we still got the parental guidance stuff, I
gotta go. I'm not.
The parental guidance is to let them go into that room. It's like Christmas. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all old enough to remember on Christmas Day when we were kids, the first thing you want to do is hit the streets Christmas morning with your skates and with your bicycle and running and Indian chief, whatever you got to show the other kids. Go to your door this Christmas. You ain't gonna see not one person out in the street sharing their joy. They're all these young kids today in the room. Look, on the computer doing what? Making a bomb.
Didn't you say you had to go meet your cousin?
Making a bomb.
Yeah, I do, but I'm talking to you guys. This is very important.
You telling the people their kids making bombs?
Well, the kids in the room doing, they're in love or they're attached to the computer now. They're not no social skills. They don't go play to see each other. You know, look at the birthday kids now. These kids having birthday parties, and it's pissing me off. These kids that get $5,000, $10,000 parties, birthday parties, right? Some more than that. What did we have when we grew up? We had they got a bounce house. These new kids got a bounce house. They got a pony come over, and they got all of this. So we have what, a piece of cake?
Why do you keep saying we like we 95 years old? We are not in the same category, sir. You was out there.
Okay. We gonna call it the truth.
You don't hear Coach Bev.
I want to end this.
Coach Bev,
I want to end this with what do we have? Can we talk about what y'all have coming up?
Yes, go ahead,
Dr. Dancie. What do you have coming up?
Okay, so my book is called Bye Bye Bags, Laughing to Lighten the Load. I wrote the book and I was like, okay, God, now what? And so he said, well, you're asking people to get rid of their emotional baggage that they have not even acknowledged that they have. So I did the work and I started working on, unpacking my baggage. What does that look like? Then I had the journal. So the book is my story. The journal is your story. And it's not dated. It's no pressure. You can go through it day to day. Take your time, take your pace. There's Bible scriptures. There's exercises. There's a lot of different things in the journal that can help you. There's a page in my journal that says, today I'm just not having a good day. And you explain why. You post a picture. Today I hate this. I hate this. I love this. There's so many different, I'm quite proud of it, by the way. And so when I did the book in the journal, I said, now what? This is the second and only time I've ever heard God speak to me. He said, that's cute. You wrote a book. That's great. You got a journal. That's real cute. He said, baggage claim. And baggage claim is a safe destination for people to claim, release, and heal from the emotional baggage that we all carry. And so it's a safe destination for you to come say, me too. I've been through it. Because when you look at somebody like me who is well put together, who's cute, and brave enough to carry this gap in her mouth, you got to think. You got to think. She probably got a little something going on with herself. I like this in her. So to be, you would assume that I might not have anything. I might not have any struggles. I might not have any issues, that's not true. So the goal is for you to come see how I unpack my baggage. So I'm having a one-woman show at the City Winery here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's called Baggage Claim. And literally, I walk you through my book from the beginning to the end. I have my own baggage. I'm a child molestation survivor. I lost my dream job as a national syndicated talk show host. And I also was in a long-term relationship for 10 years that did not materialize into marriage. Like, I love that man, y'all. Ooh, I love that man.
Well, you should have told me that when you was with me.
First of all, I can't stand him. So and here's the last, I'm gonna end this here. Baggage Claim is open to men and women. It's a one-woman show. There's a poet, shout out to Teresa the Songbird. There's a singer, Michael Lester, who's gonna come out and sing, and then it's been hosted by Queen Sheba. But you will literally see me walk the book. It's going to be where, it's just a phenomenal experience. Come, men and women, you're able to come. And I just really want you to understand what this is. This is a transformational, motivational experience that you do not want to miss. It's called Baggage Claim, November 4th, 8 p.m. at City Winery.
Be there. I have this cup and it said, let shit go. Dr. Wallace, you got a book that said, laugh it off. It's the same thing.
I have a book.
And also, what do you have coming up?
I wrote 2 books. I got a book called Laugh It Off. I wrote this. It's telling you how to really enjoy your life and let things go. Everything is small. Just make sure you keep laughing in your life. No matter what you do, put a smile on your face. Sometimes you don't have to say anything, but a smile can tell the story. The book is available. It's out there. Also wrote another book called Bull Twit. I'm pretty big on Twitter. I was voted the 25 funniest tweeters in the world from Rolling Stone magazine. And I always say BS, but I couldn't say the S word, so I changed it to twit in the Twitter world. So get that, and because it's about things and whatnot. Bulls, twit, and whatnot, okay? Bulls, twit, and whatnot. Because I'm different. I have to tell the people I'm different. I don't play by the rules. I'm a rebel because I'll eat cupcakes out of a pan and pancakes out of a cup. I don't care. I'm different, okay? I'll eat French toast in England and an English muffin in France. I am different, okay?
Different.
I'll drink a half a glass of whole milk and a whole glass of half and half. I don't give a I'm sorry.
Right.
A lady told me last night, Mr. Wallace, if you drink a half a glass of whole milk and a whole glass of half and half, she said, you may not give it, but you're going to take it.
But you sure are. Let me tell you something.
But I am this week, for people, call your friends, this week I am down in Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana, at the Golden Nugget Casino. I'll be there. Everybody in the Houston area, come on out and say hello. The week after that, Thanksgiving week, I'm going to be in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Raleigh Improv. Thanksgiving, I'm going to talk about eating the turkey and shoving before they put the turkey in the oven. Many years ago, like 1986, somebody said, well, let's shove some wet bread up in his butt before we put him in the oven. You know, I want to be talking about that. And most important, I have a new TV show coming out next year. It's coming out Christmas. It's coming out. It's called Clean Slate with the great Norman Lear, 100 years old, and the Laverne Cox. It's pretty much, I can describe it. I'm not supposed to talk about it, but it's pretty much Sanford and daughter. The premise is, I had a thought in my head one time, and the premise was that what if I had a son that went to New York and did his thing, came back, knocked on the door. This is what happened. You'll see it in the episode. Dad, it's me. Are you Edmund's wife? Are you Edmund's wife? You look a pretty lady. You selling Avon? What are you doing at my door? She says, Dad, it's me. And I said, what are you doing here? You selling the Watchtower? Jehovah's Witness? Dad, it's me. What the? And it's my daughter.
What the Waka Flocka?
Look at this Waka Flocka. So that's Laverne Cox, and we've already shot every episode. And look for that. It's going to be very controversial. Some of the people are not going to like it, and I'm going to catch hell from the black church. But the black church can't say shit to me because all of the hell that comes down, a lot of hell comes out of the church. Let's put it like, how many little babies run around the church?
These people trying to go.
Me too.
He said, I got things to do. Dr. Mara, anything before we leave? This is amazing. If you guys can get booked on the university talking circuits, you guys need to be, because our kids and our community continuously need your voice, your energy, your love, and your compassion for humanity.
If you know somebody can get us in that tour, do that. Kiana and I are ready to go.
How you put us in a group?
You got one. You got one. Hey, Kiana, you just got a I can, and you can't blow this. Yes, we can. Yes, we are.
Dr. Mara, thank you. You see, he's
gonna have problems with Kiana.
South Carolina, here they come. It's just a matter of time. In 2024, we're claiming that these two are going to be on platforms in every major university, including South Carolina. I ain't playing with you guys.
Including DeVry. Now,
Kiana,
since she got booked at the city, winery, I knew that's gonna be a problem. She big time now. You can't tell her nothing.
You can't tell her nothing.
City winery in Atlanta. Ooh, that's a nice place. That's up there.
I'm so excited. This is my first time. They want to put me on tour throughout the country. So I'm super excited. So if you guys can get your ticket, and listen, I say this all the time and been telling the people, I said, if you can't come to the show, that's fine. But there's only 3 reasons you can miss this show. 1, you got to work. But I don't want you to miss lose your bag trying to get rid of your baggage. 2, you're out of town, but you can still buy a ticket, give a ticket, and share a ticket. You won't have to be there. And last but not least, you dead. Now, if you dead, don't come to my show. You hear me? Don't show up dead. Don't be half dead. Don't act dead. Don't be dead. Don't come.
What if your mama dead?
My mama ain't dead. She right there waiting to come.
I'm talking about the mama dead, the people that can't come. I know your mama ain't dead, but somebody that mama dead, they still got to come?
Yeah, they got to come. They can buy your ticket and share the ticket. And guess what? If you do die, you ain't dead now. Buy the ticket and put it in your will and give it to somebody. There's no reason why you should not buy a ticket to this show.
City Winery. In the will, you got to die before they come to your shows. Before they read the will, then they get the ticket and come to see you. So you got to die pretty soon if you put it in your will.
Listen, I don't know. I don't care when you die. All I'm saying is get the ticket.
Get the ticket. You guys, thank you so much. Yes. I don't know how to say thank you enough for coming on. This was a total blessing. And I will share both of your information with Dr. Mari. And if you guys are interested in booking them, please Google them. We've run their social media contacts underneath. Find them, get it done, and let's heal through laughter and grow through joy.
Oh, I love that.
I love you.
And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. I'm George Wallace. Good night.
I'm Kiana Dancie. Make sure you guys follow me on all social media, KianaDancie.com. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
I'm so tired of them. They were the worst on it. Dr. Murray didn't say nothing. I'm so tired of them. I don't know what to do.
Listen, my baby is ready to go to bed. This one, look at her.
You got a baby?
Yes, I got a baby. Look.
Oh.
You're like your baby already in bed.
Now you know I'm no games with my baby now.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye. Bye, Coach. I love you.
Love you guys dearly.